Hi and good day everyone. As English lecturers, one of the challenging tasks in teaching language skills is to teach writing. Most students are overwhelmed and feels that writing is a daunting task to be accomplished. The research entitled Enhancing Students' Writing Features, Perception and Grammar Progression Through Dialogue Journal Blogging is carried out by 5 senior English language lecturers at KOLEJ MATRIKULASI PERAK. Madam Rahidah Ibrahim, Madam Shalini Thangaraj, Miss Lim Li Chin, Madam Azura Mustapha and Miss Ing Sao Ping. The research, which starts with an abstract and consists of 5 chapters. Chapter 1 of the research consists of the introduction, purpose of study and research questions. The introduction in learning the English language, the most dreaded skill out of the other 4 macro skills of language, is the writing skills. Introducing meaningful, communicative and modern activities using web technologies, such as blogs, are presenting teachers and learners with a new horizon in the field of teaching writing. Teaching the writing skills using dialogue journal writing with learners can be made more fascinating and at the same time, accelerates the teaching and learning process. Next, the purpose of the study is to identify the effects of dialogue journal writing through blogging on students' writing features. To identify the effects of dialogue journal writing through blogging on the progression of students' writing skills in terms of grammar tenses. The research question is, how does dialogue journal blogging affect the progression of students' writing skills in terms of the number of grammatical errors tenses made by them? Chapter 2: Theoretical Framework and Literature Review.
In the constructivist theory, the 2 main strands in that are cognitive constructivism and social constructivism. Cognitive constructivism focuses on how individuals understand things and constructs knowledge discovered through interactions with the environment, whereas social constructivism views learning as emerging from social interaction, dialogues and collaboration, as stated by Bonk-Cunningham, 1998. In practice of this theory, when students write dialogue journals in their blogs, they are not tied to any format or marking scheme, and they would also be able to obtain feedbacks and additional information by communicating with their friends while blogging. In the second language acquisition theory, the 3 hypotheses from Stephen Krashen's second language acquisition theory that could be linked to this study are: first, the Stephen Krashen's acquisition learning hypotheses that states instructional tools should promote authentic usage of the language in real-life situations. In practice of this theory, as the students write their dialogue journals and post it in their blogs, they are using the language which accommodates to their level in an interactive manner. The third hypothesis of Stephen Krashen's second language acquisition theory is the input hypothesis, which states that the learner improves and progresses along the natural order when he/she receives second language input that is one step beyond his/her current stage of linguistic competence. Krashen suggests that, by communicating naturally with learners who are from different level of linguistic competence, the learner will definitely obtain some input appropriate for his/her level of competency. Based on this suggestion, in practice, the teacher should progressively increase the complexity of her response so that a challenging comprehension and inferencing can be achieved among the students. The literature review of the study are based on related studies on the usage of dialogue journal writing in the ESL classroom and related studies on using blogs to teach writing.
This research is conducted in the Perak Matriculation College. The participants of the study are 60 matriculation students consisting of 34 females and 26 males. They are 18 years old. The participants will be divided into 2 groups, one the control group 30 students and the other, the experimental group 30 students. The participants have English classes, 3 hours per week. The participants in the control group will be taught as usual without any additional treatment or method. However, the students in the experimental group will be assigned topics and told to write freely, but based on the topic given. The participants in the experimental group will be briefed and helped to familiarize themselves with the general skills on using the computer as well as to understand the usage of the weblog. They will also receive introductory training in which they are given guidelines regarding dialogue journal writing and blog interaction. The blog that would be used for this project will be www.blogger.com. They are allowed to write anything that they like regarding the topic assigned and have to post their written product weekly. The duration of this project is 14 weeks, as the introductory part will be during the first week, followed by 12 weeks of blogging, and the final week will be to answer the questionnaire. The writing scores of the pre-test and post-tests will be compared using a t-test, independent sample t-test and paired sample t-test to determine if there are any significant difference in the number of grammatical errors made by the participants in the control and experimental group. The frequency of grammatical errors in the aspect of tenses from the essay writing in the pre-test and post-test will be determined and then analyzed using a t-test. In addition, the scores on the 5-point scale in the questionnaire will be analyzed by a descriptive procedure and a t-test. The study is only done on matriculation students and does not cater for the students who are in the other levels, as well as the number of participants are only 60 matriculation students. Besides that, the blogging project will only be done for 12 weeks, with the consideration that each student will participate actively in this project and blog their best written work. The study is also focused on the content-based dialogue journal writing, where the topic will be assigned to the students and they are required to write freely but related to the topic assigned.
The results of the number of grammatical errors tenses. For analyzing the data collected, statistical package for the social science SPSS 16. 0 for Windows was used. The sub-programs of the SPSS used for analyzing are independent samples t-test and a mean of control group for the pre-test and post-test are 20. 40 SD1. 65 and 15. 80 SD1. 42 respectively. The mean for the number of grammatical errors for the post-test is lower compared to the number of grammatical errors in the pre-test, with the difference of 4. 60. The reduction is significant, which the P0 05T2911 58 P0 0. Therefore, the null hypothesis H01 is rejected. In Table 1, the mean of the experimental group for the pre-test and post-test are 20. 60 SD1. 81 and 9. 101. 56 respectively. The mean for the number of grammatical errors for the post-test is lower compared to the number of grammatical errors in the pre-test, with the difference of 11. 50. The reduction is significant, which the P0 05T2925 74 P0 0. Therefore, the null hypothesis H02 is rejected. As it is observed, the mean score for the experimental group and the control group decreased from the pre-test to the post-test. However, the experimental group displayed a greater decrease of mean, compared to the control group. There is a significant difference of mean for the number of grammatical errors in the aspect of tenses made while writing for the experimental group before and after dialogue journal blogging treatment was conducted with them. In Table 2, the mean for the control group for the pre-test is 20. 40 SD1. 65 and the mean for the experimental group is 20. 60 SD1. 81. This indicates there is no much difference between the control group and experimental group. The two groups chosen are similar in their level of grammar in the aspect of tenses. Since the difference is not significant as the p-value, p0, 05T580, 657, p0, 657. Thus, the researcher fails to reject the null hypothesis H03. However, for the post-test, the mean of the number of grammatical errors made by the control group is 15. 8 SD1. 42, but it is much lower for the experimental group, that is 9. 10 SD1. 56. The p-value of the test is 0. 0, which is less than 0. 0.5. Therefore, there is a significant difference between the control group and the experimental group, which means the null hypothesis is rejected H04. Comparing Table 1 and Table 2, it can be said that the control group, which goes through the normal learning process without treatment, did show some improvement in reducing the number of grammatical errors in the aspect of tenses in the post-test. However, there is a greater reduction in the number of grammatical errors in the post-test for the experimental group, which was given treatment dialogue journal blogging, compared to the control group, with the difference of mean 6. 7. The results showed a significant difference between the frequency of grammatical errors in the aspect of tenses for the experimental and control group.
The analysis of the data obtained through the pre-test and post-test revealed that the frequency of grammatical errors in both control and experimental groups improved. However, after comparing the differences in the post-test results, it indicated that using blogging as a mode of practicing writing, focusing on the aspect of grammar simple past tense, was more effective than the usual classroom practices. There was a significant improvement in the aspect of grammar through blogging dialogue journals for the experimental group compared to the control group.